on YouTube. Let me just adjust here. Hold on. Guys, let me know who is here. I want to know first anybody who loves food that also have gluten or wheat, made by wheat. Pizza, croissant, crackers, cakes, ice cream, they put as well. They put everything everywhere. Like everything related to delicious food that looks good, like tastes good, they put gluten. Who here likes that? I'm gonna tell you, if you really can eat, or if you really cannot eat at all, or if you can introduce that in a strategic time, specific times, in each specific season of your health journey. I'm gonna tell you everything here, okay? Margaret said, love it all, but it doesn't love me. We are gonna talk about that. Who here? Barbara said, yes, me. Who loves food with gluten or wheat, guys? Let me adjust here the camera. I want to adjust the camera. Tell me here I want to read. Hold on. Let's see here. Gluten, me. Yes, Yaji said me. Okay, guys, let's go straight to the point. First thing that you need to know. Pay attention now. Hold on, hold on. Look at me here. You really need to understand about gluten. Look at that. First thing that you need to write down. Someone told me, Thiago, I always, every single time that I go to Europe, I live in California, and I go to Europe for a trip. When I eat a croissant in France, when I eat pizza in Italy, when I have a cracker in Portugal, I don't have bloating. I don't feel anything I don't have low energy, nothing. But when come back to Los Angeles, where I live, when I come back to the US, or when I come back to Canada, boom, I have bloating. I feel weird. My body doesn't like once I eat gluten and wheat. Why is that? First thing for you to write down. First thing, you really need to know this. The first thing is what? Gluten, the structure of gluten, there are different types of it. Gluten can be different in its structure. So that's why you eat a croissant or a pizza in one place, and then you don't feel anything. And then you go to another place, another restaurant, or another city, or another country. You eat another type of pizza, boom, you have bloating. Why is that? Because you can come to me and say, Thiago, I don't have problems with bloating. But when I go to some places and then I eat the pizza, I have the problem. Guys, remember this forever. The structure is different. Right? Check this out. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Quick, 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 quick. See this. Every single time that you have your pizza, croissant, whatever, the structure is like this. One type of gluten is like that, really hard to digest. Another type of gluten is like that. Different structures means different symptoms in your body. It means different problems. Different problems. That's why you need to be aware of where are you eating those foods that are high in gluten or high in wheat flour. Where are you eating them? First thing, write this down. So there are different types of gluten. Okay, I'm aware of this already. Okay, good. Second thing for you to write down. Second thing, check this out. Many people confuse this. Gluten is like a monster. I'm super scared of gluten. Gluten is a bacteria. Gluten is a virus. Gluten is something that's gonna really like destroy my entire body. I'm gonna die. Guys, remember, gluten is a protein. 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 Like protein, carbs, fat. Yeah, protein. Write this down. Gluten is a protein. I'm not scared of any food, including a protein like gluten. The problem is not the gluten. The problem is your body. How your body is handling, is dealing with that gluten. Gluten is just a protein. Why do you have problems when you eat gluten? Why do you have problems? Because the structure is like that. You have gliadin. That's another, it's the big protein that's inside gluten. That's one part of gluten that creates problem in your body, that you have a lot of reactions. It's because of gliadin or gliadin. The structure is so hard like that, and it's all about what? Write this down. It's all about how my body digests and absorbs gluten and how my immune system will look at the gluten and will tolerate gluten or not tolerate gluten. So you have soldiers in your body. You have soldiers, your immune cells. They can see the molecule of the food and they can look at them and say, okay, I accept you here. You can pass. And then it's like soldiers, it's like police when you are in a traffic and then you're gonna like doing like a blitz to analyze your situation, your driver's license, if you have driver's license or not. They can give you a green light or a red light. Same thing with gluten. You ingest gluten, it will depend how, if your body will digest and absorb that really hard structure. Tiago, why everybody everywhere is having problems with gluten? Because the structure is really hard. And people are nowadays, compared to your grandparents, are consuming more gluten than ever. Why? Because the industry, they're putting gluten everywhere. All right. Third thing that you need to be aware of, write this down. Guys, this is the most important thing. Most important. Another person came to me saying, Tiago, this is the mistake number one, actually. Someone said to me, Tiago, I eat gluten-free foods. I have foods that are pizza gluten-free, but I'm still having issues. I'm still having reactions. I still have bloating. The worst thing that you can think is by trying to solve your gut issues and avoiding only gluten. Why? Because you have wheat. There are all the compounds in wheat flour that also can damage your gut because of lack of absorption, because you activate your immune system and create inflammation. Tiago, what is that? Besides gluten, inside wheat flour, you find what we call ATIs. ATIs. You don't need to memorize this. This is amylase trypsin inhibitors. Tiago, what is that? It's another type of protein. That's another type of protein that's hard for your gut to digest, your stomach to digest, your saliva here to digest. They will not digest. Your small intestine. If this type of protein that you find in wheat flour, that's not gluten, it's called ATI, amylase trypsin inhibitor. If it goes to your small intestine without being digested, it will damage the line of your gut. You have tight junctions in the line of your gut, protecting your gut. Avoid inflammation. Every single time that you have like ATI coming from wheat flour because of a poor digestion, not digestion, and it's there in your gut, the ATIs can go to the line of the gut and then damage the tight junctions. The tight junctions can become weak and then it can create what? Holes. Your gut lining becomes leaky. That's why you start having what? Leaky gut. And everything because of a protein coming from wheat that was not well digested. Tiago, are you saying to me that most of my problems, especially with wheat, most of my problems because of lack of digestion and absorption? Yes. Why? Because digestion is one thing, absorption is another thing. You take your supplement, many supplements, no, all the supplements, by the way, are digestible. You digest the supplement. But many supplements you don't absorb. Anything that you don't do both, you have gluten. Your body doesn't digest and absorb. What's going to happen? You can create dysbiosis in your gut. And then what? Leaky gut. And then what? Immune system activated. And then what? Allergy to gluten. You create allergy. You create what we call, there are three different types. When we talk about gluten, we talk about three different types. The first one, write this down, celiac. Most of you are not celiac. Tiago, what is celiac disease? Celiac disease is you literally were born, write this down. You were born with receptors that every single time that you have gluten, you automatically activate your immune system, and your immune system will attack your small intestine and then will literally damage the tissue of the organ. Tiago, what's the solution if someone has this celiac disease? The only solution is never in their entire life until they die, they cannot have gluten because they were born. We cannot remove the receptors that they were born with these receptors, that every single time that they have gluten, those receptors will activate the immune system. Immune system will attack their own body. So that's why it's called an autoimmune disease. The own immune system attack their own body. This first case, the solution is never have gluten anymore in their entire lives. This first one. Second one is non-celiac gluten sensitivity. Most of you have this. Most of you have this. You don't have celiac disease, but you have sensitivity to gluten. Many times is because of the amount that you don't realize. Oh, Thiago, I went to a restaurant. Guys, yeah, I see this mistake a lot. You go to a restaurant and then you think that you're not consuming anything with gluten, but you put the sauce. Sauce. You see a dip, you put sauce on top of your salad. Those restaurants, all of them, they put something that's made with gluten as well. Why? Because gluten is amazing for the industry. It can conserve more. It's much easier. It's cheap for the industry. That's why people put gluten everywhere. But that's what you need to be aware of. Your issue is the second one. Non-celiac gluten sensitivity. And the priority number one is what? Is what type of foods that you are eating that the molecule of gluten is really big. Like in one single bread, I have a training in my program teaching, for example, even the type of foods that your body is less likely to react, to have symptoms, to increase inflammation when you eat foods that have gluten. For example, sourdough bread. Instead of you eating a sourdough bread because the fermentation of sourdough bread reduces gluten, no, you don't do this. You just have like a white bread, that the amount of gluten is high. What's the problem? That you create the trigger of more inflammation. Remember, the problem is not the gluten. The problem is your body reacting to that. It's not the food. Don't be concerned. Don't be scared of the food. Be concerned of how is your gut microbiome, how the bacteria in your gut are dealing with foods. Remember this. Don't be scared of salad. Don't be scared of gluten. Don't be scared of dairy. Don't be scared of any food, guys. The problem is never the food. The problem is your body because you're not strengthening your body. You're not reducing your inflammation. Don't confuse here. I see on YouTube, I see on Instagram, I see everywhere people creating like a monster in the food. The monster is not the food. You need to focus on the hero. Is the hero strong or weak? Who is the hero, Thiago? Your body. It's all about the hero. Remember, if you eat a sourdough bread, just because of the fermentation, you have less gluten. Because of this, your body is more likely to handle that lower amount of gluten, and by consequence, you have less chances of having symptoms. What's the problem with you? It's because throughout the day, you put a sauce that you don't know that has gluten. Another day, you buy something that's gluten-free. Big illusion as well. You buy something that's gluten-free, but nobody's telling you that it's gluten-free, but the food is made by wheat flour. In wheat flour, there is no gluten because gluten-free, but there are ATIs, advanced or amylase trypsin inhibitors. Besides these, have fructans. Fructan is a type of carbohydrate that's one type of FODMAP. FODMAP, yes, it's a type of carbohydrate that can ferment for too long inside your gut. If your gut is already weak, if you already have inflammation, If you already have leaky gut, these fructans type of carbohydrate that you find in wheat flour, this can ferment longer, and by consequence, you can create dysbiosis in your gut. Good bacteria can become lower, bad bacteria become bigger. That imbalance create dysbiosis. And then you have more bloating, you have more low energy, your headache is because of that. Your irritation, your lack of patience is because of that. You are activating your immune system, you are having inflammation. Your depression, more than like the more than 30-40% is because of the gut issues that you're having and exacerbating the depression symptoms. Your weight gain, because it's affecting your metabolism, this is affecting your hormones. Say, I have hormone imbalance. It's because of that. Hormone imbalance, guys. Why? Because once you have dysbiosis in your gut, remember that your bacteria also produce hormones. Your bacteria in your gut also help balance your hormones. If you are not focusing on this, and everything started because of the type of foods that you're eating. For example, gluten. For example, gluten. And remember, so non sensitivity, gluten sensitivity, that can be your case. Another type is allergy. Many of you are creating allergy of gluten because what I just told you, you are creating that leaky gut. Because you're eating in high amount, you're putting gluten in your dip on like a sauce. For example, Caesar salad. You eat a Caesar salad and then you have the Caesar's dressing. The Caesar's dressing has gluten. Ah, no, it's gluten free. Yeah, but it's made by wheat. They put wheat as well. So you're going to have ATIs, you're going to have fructans. So you're, guys, pay attention to that. It's the same thing like money. Same thing like money. You just say, no, I'm just spending $1, $1 extra for this coffee. You go to Starbucks, it's $5. So instead of buying a coffee that's $3, you buy a coffee that's the same coffee for $5. No, Chuck, but it's just $2 difference. And then after 1 year, you spend thousands of dollars with all the micro waste of money that you made. Same thing happens with gluten, with wheat. Instead of you eating, planning your week to have a cake with gluten, only, for example, one small cake on Friday afternoon, and then you're not giving a bunch of molecules that are really hard for your body to digest and increase inflammation because of that. You're not doing this because you're planning your whole week. Okay, I'm gonna have this cake. I know the cake has gluten, so it doesn't matter because I planned my week. And then you have that slice Friday afternoon after lunch. What's gonna happen with you? You reduce your chances of having reaction or more inflammation because of gluten. Why? Because your body could handle that amount of gluten of molecules. Yeah, but my body didn't digest all the molecules of gluten from this cake. Yeah, but your body could get rid of it from your stools. Tell, so are you saying to me that's possible? I eat something that's made by gluten, and if my body, there's a possibility of my body handling that amount of gluten and then avoiding the gluten to be around my system, my gut, and then get rid of my body from my stools. Is it possible? Yes. Write this down. Write this down. Some compounds in all the type of foods is possible once you consume them, they can bind with gluten, but especially with what? With gliadin, that we call gliadin or gliadin, is one of the proteins that you find in gluten. So this, for example, you drink, let's say, green tea. You drink green tea, and then after that you have. Can you guys hear me? Right? Everybody can hear me. All good? Just to make sure that my audio is fine. If my audio is not okay, you let me know. All right. Check this out. You drink green tea because it's high in anthocyanins, a type of polyphenol. Nowadays, we know there are many papers already showing, no doubt in science anymore, that polyphenols bind with gliadin that you find in gluten. That's one part of gluten. They bind it, and it's more likely to get rid of your body easier. The faster gluten get rid of your body, the less chances of damaging the line of your gut. The line of your gut. Tell why is that? Because the problem here, guys, is if your body doesn't digest gluten, check it out what happened. Write this down. Pay attention here to me. Crazy stuff happens in your body when your body doesn't digest gluten. Crazy stuff happens. Look at that. Look at me here. Stop everything. Look at me. You really need to understand this. You eat any bread, any cracker, anything with wheat. Let's say wheat. You have wheat flour. Inside wheat flour, you have the ATIs that can be problematic, gluten that can be problematic, and fructose that can be problematic. The problem is not them, actually. The problem is your body, by the way. But you eat that, boom. Your saliva is the first place that is supposed to digest food, but it will not digest here, and then it go to the stomach, and then the stomach is really trying to digest that gluten, really hard. The structure of gluten is really like that. It's hard to break it down, and then it go to the small intestine. Big problem. The whole molecule of the gluten went through many places inside your gut and then went to the small intestine. This will not be digested from your bacteria. Tiago, why is that important? Nowadays, we know that when it's not well digested, if the whole molecule go to the small intestine, this will create what? Putrefaction. Putrefaction. Who here can smell when you make a chicken, when you make anything that's made by protein, like eggs, chicken, meat, and then you don't put in the fridge, and then you forget, and then after like 2 days, it's smelling like crazy. Who smelled that already? Say I. Who smelled? Put here in the comments. That smell, putrefaction. Terrible smell. Why? Because it was fermenting, creating more bad bacteria around, and that smell was increasing like crazy. Same thing happens when the gluten is not digested and then it goes to the small intestine. Putrefaction. Tiago, why is that important? Write this down. Once this happens, because of poor digestion, you start increasing some bacteria in your gut called groups of bacteria called proteobacteria. Write this down. Proteobacteria. They are inflammatory bacteria. If you have more than 5% of proteobacteria inside your gut, it means that you're going to have leaky gut. You're going to have a lot of problems. Hormone imbalance, brain fog, anxiety, stress, edema, muscle pain, weakness, it's a book of symptoms. The goal is avoiding for the gluten to go to your small intestine without being digested, because if it goes like that, the whole structure, putrefaction will happen, more proteobacteria, bad bacteria, inflammatory bacteria will increase. If it's more than 5%, you have a lot of inflammation in your body. Who is understanding this? Say I. I want to know here who is understanding this. I. Yeah, Butterfly said I. Guys, put here the symptoms or like talk to me here, guys. I want to see you talking, because if I don't know your issue, it's impossible for me to help you. I cannot help you if you're not talking here. Danielle said I do. Tropin said I. Yes, that's what you need to understand. The protein is a molecule, and I just need to do everything for my body to digest and absorb that. The problem that I'm creating to my body is when I eat in high amounts. If I eat a food that's high in gluten, but if it's fermented, I reduce the gluten intake, less chances of my body reacting. Like instead of white bread, sourdough bread. Tiago, but my issue, I'm in higher level of inflammation. My inflammation is high. What's my situation here? Your situation is you have holes in the gut. There are a lot of leaky gut, and any food that's hard for your body to digest, big particles like gluten, it will pass through your bloodstream. It will go, or it will pass through your gut lining, go to your bloodstream. You're going to increase inflammation. In your case, you need to spend some time without having gluten. Tiago, but it's only gluten. No, no, no. It's wheat flour. It's not gluten. Guys, biggest mistake that you make is avoiding gluten flour or gluten and having wheat flour. I just told you that there are other compounds in wheat that also damage the tight junctions in the gut lining. So your goal is to spend like 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, depending on your inflammation levels. In my program, I teach this. Depending on your inflammation levels, while you are strengthening the line of the gut to avoid the holes and to reduce dysbiosis, getting that balance in your gut bacteria again, while you are optimizing your stomach to optimize digestion next time that you have gluten, you need to prepare first your body. Prepare your body, stopping leaky gut, stopping dysbiosis. And depending on your levels of inflammation, this can take 2 weeks. Other people can take 4 weeks. So while you're strengthening, you need to stop taking wheat for some time. What's the good news for you? Tiago, tell me the good news. The good news because you can eat again sooner or later. I teach in my program how to introduce again those type of foods high in gluten, foods high in wheat. You can introduce. Why? Because that's life. We all, guys, write this down. Write this down. I need to learn how to eat pizza without increasing inflammation. Write this down. I need to learn how to eat croissant without increasing inflammation. We all love these type of foods. And remember, I just told you, it's not about the food. It's not that there's a poison in the food. No, it's just a molecule. Gluten is a protein. That's really hard to digest. The point is, how, if your body will digest or not. If your body doesn't digest, because of the structure of your body, because you ate too much in one single time, because of your age, because of many things, inflammation increases. Inflammation increases. But it was because of the protein itself, because there is a poison in the gluten. No, there is no poison. It's because your gut couldn't digest and absorb that. It's different when, and then that's the point. And then the worst is when your body is so weak that your immune system is activated and not accepting this molecule of gluten in your body anymore. It's because your situation now is really like level 10. You really need to take care of your gut today. And the problem is because most of you are not aware of this. You're just living life. Oh, yeah, I have bloating. Yeah, I have weight gain. Yeah, I'm postmenopause. Like you're accepting life. Accepting. No, 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 no. Guys, the worst thing that you can do is accepting life. Whatever life gives to you, you accept. The worst thing that can happen. You're accepting. No, 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 no. Be the creator of your day. You need to be the creator. You need to create a new body because now you're in postmenopause. Your small intestine is not handling the same way gluten anymore compared to 20 years ago. Gluten has the same structure when you are younger. You used to eat 20, 50 grams of wheat flour daily without having issues. Why? Because your body was super resilient. Oh, yeah, that's really hard to digest all that amount of gluten here, but okay, I'm gonna try to handle that. And then one part was from your stools, getting rid of from your stools. But now you are 40 years old. Now you are 35 years old. Now you are 50 years old. Small intestine saying to you, hey, that amount I cannot handle anymore. I'm gonna give you more inflammation because now I have holes in the gut lining. All the molecule of gluten is passing and going to the bloodstream, by consequence, activating immune system. By consequence, immune system releasing molecules that are inflammatory. So your inflammation increases. And then you are damaging your tissues. You create a bunch of problems because of inflammation. And then the person start having an autoimmune disease, the person start having depression, your doctor will never relate to a food. Never, 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 never. Your doctor will ask, okay, in your family, who had this symptom in the family? They're going to relate genetically. But many of you created this problem. You literally created. It's time to recreate. You can recreate. It's time to recreate, guys. So, even simple examples, when you drink that tea that I told you, green tea, even chamomile tea, what else? Black tea, lemon balm tea, ginger tea, lavender tea, tulsi tea. There are many teas that high in polyphenols. Once you drink them before eating foods high in gluten, it's going to be more likely for your body to get rid of that gluten. So you reduce the chances of reaction. Thiago, if I just do this, if I just drink the teas, will be enough? Guys, of course not. Don't expect a miracle. Solve all the gut issues that you're having with one tea. Be careful with this type of mindset. I'm gonna buy a tea because Thiago told me, and then you buy, and then you think that's gonna solve everything. No, this is like 1, 2, 3% part of the solution. It's a treatment for you to heal and stop having reactions to gluten. Who is understanding this? Let's go to questions. Questions. I'm live on YouTube as well, by the way. Okay, I really want you guys to understand this. Let me see here. Yeah. Let's go to questions. Questions. Who here is eating gluten and have a reaction? Did you guys notice? Good question. Daniela asked. Good question, Daniela. Daniela asked, do we heal our gut through foods or supplements? Daniela, both. Most people worldwide are so inflamed that just by getting the nutrients from the food will not be enough. Especially because the environment, the soil nowadays is really poor, is getting poorer. Magnesium from the plant, from the soil, reduced almost 30% in the last 100 years. So even the amount of, that's why all of us, we are deficient of magnesium. And all of us need to take magnesium supplement. Because the soil, the plant is not able anymore to get all the source of magnesium from the soil. The soil is poor. So to heal the gut, you need both food and supplements. You really need a combination. I teach in my program, for example, I teach phase 1. Everybody in phase 1 in my program, they need to strengthen their gut microbiome, to reduce leaky gut, to reduce dysbiosis, strengthen their gut, optimize the digestive system, optimizing hormones naturally from food, creating the foundation. Usually people take 2 weeks. Some clients need 3 weeks. All the clients need 4 weeks, depending on how inflamed their bodies are. This is phase 1. Nobody goes to phase 2 without completing phase 1. Why, Thiago? Because in phase 2, their bodies are more likely to be prepared to accept some intakes of some other type of foods, including wheat. I'm going to have pizza, gluten-free pizza. Okay, great. It's gluten-free, but it's made by wheat flour. So wheat flour has amylase trypsin inhibitors, ATIs, and fructans. Another possibility too, depending on how weak is your gut. Let's try. And then I teach how to introduce them correctly, the right amount, which symptoms they need to pay attention. I teach this in phase 2 in my program. Even like I have a video training teaching the teas, type of teas for each situation. I have a specific video for guys because it's a treatment. You really need to be aware that one thing will not solve the whole problem. You really need to be aware of the step by step. And you really need to know that if you don't reduce inflammation in your gut, if you don't strengthen your gut at the same time, two different things: reduce inflammation and increase gut microbiome. All right? Super important. Let me see questions. Steph asked, Let's go to Yagi first. How about almond flour? Guys, remember this. Hold on. Oh, look at me. Look at me here. Any food, if your body cannot handle, cannot digest, that's one thing, and cannot absorb, it's another thing. Any food, this is chance of inflammation. Any food, that's the point. You're confusing just with gluten. Tiago, but why gluten is the food is the food that everybody has a lot of problems? Because of the structure of the compound. The molecule is really hard, is super hard to digest. The molecule is like this. It's hard to break it down. But if your body struggles to digest almond flour, Yagi, almond flour can be harder for this to happen because the flour, the digestion can be easy. But almond nut, if your body struggles to digest and absorption, you can start creating the inflammation. Not because of the food itself, it's just because your body could not digest and absorb. Guys, I'm going to tell you top one problem here. Top one problem that all of you are facing and you're not prioritizing: digestion. You're not giving that importance to the way that your body digests foods. You are not giving that importance. That's the point. You are prioritizing hormone imbalance. For example, I really need to optimize my hormones. And then you go to medication. I really need to focus on reduce inflammation. And then you go to a supplement. The top priority to start healing your body is your digestion, because lack of digestion can be the first process of inflammation. Who is understanding why? I want to know why. Why is that? Who are you guys understanding why poor digestion and absorption is the step number one to start creating the compound of inflammation? Are you guys understand this? This is really important to understand. So, Yaji, if your stomach is not having enough stomach acid, if the saliva that you are having here doesn't have the enzymes to digest fat from your almond, because let's suppose you are not prioritizing producing enzymes for the digestion to start in your saliva, just because you're not chewing enough, just because of simple thing. One type of the protocols to optimize digestion, not chewing enough, because the less you chew, the less saliva you're gonna release below your tongues, and be the less enzymes to digest your fat and your carbs here in the mouth. Digestion starts here. So you can start having all the problems just because of a simple flour. Tiago, now I'm chewing more. I'm taking care of my digestion. And then you don't have any issues with almond flour anymore. No problem anymore. So you have more almond flour. And then sometimes you have bread. No problem with bread anymore. Why? Because you prepared your body first to have foods. Because the point here is not healthy or unhealthy food. Guys, priority is it's logical. Healthy food is priority. But a healthy food can inflame your body if your body doesn't digest that healthy food. I want you to understand the mechanism, the reason why it happens. Because many people don't know why. Because if you don't know why, you will say, no, that's bullshit. Like a healthy food creates inflammation. Nah, bullshit, BS. Because you don't understand about physiology. You don't know, and you're not reading all the papers, all the scientific literature showing everything. For example, check it out. Paper published in 2023. The paper is open here. A review paper. Check this out. Paper showing the role of gluten in gastrointestinal disorders. A review. For example, those people who have IBS, IBD, those people, the symptoms exacerbate, increases when the person eats gluten. Increases. And why is that? Because the gut is already damaged. The person is already struggling to handle a great digestion, to have a great digestion. The person is already inflamed. Did you guys understand that? That's why when you are not inflamed, when you don't have leaky gut anymore, when your digestion is really good, and then you have a bread, one slice of bread, you don't have problems. Okay, no bloating. I had that bread, no problem. Because you had the right amount of bread at the right time of your treatment. At the right time, you had that bread. Your gut was strong to handle the gluten. Your stomach acid was really well, producing really great amount of stomach acid. And all your body was prepared for that. And then no bloating, nothing. Did you guys get that? Guys, this paper here shows the paper from 2023, last year, showing even people start having what? Mental issues, signs of brain fog, mental fatigue, because when the gluten is not well tolerated and gluten start activating the immune system, because of that activation of immune system, what happens? Start affecting the brain because of the gut brain axis through the vagus nerve. Your brain is always paying attention to what's happening in your gut every single second. Guys, what's going on there? The gut, parts of your gut called neuropod cells, sends a signal. Hey, gut, something is wrong here with Maria's gut. Maria is having dysbiosis. She's eating this type of foods that's really hard to digest. And I already gave the command to activate the immune system. And I already gave the command to increase inflammation, molecules of inflammation. The brain said, really? Okay. Because of that, I need to repeat those signals as well. And then we are going to start having leaky brain. The person start having leaky brain fog, neuroinflammation, and then you never connect gluten just because of it was a molecule that was hard to digest and all the cascade of problems that you started having. But if you prepared your body first, you would never have problems with gluten. It's just it's just a matter of how you are preparing your body to have gluten, to have wheat, to have dairy. Guys, it's all about that. You have no idea. You really need to understand this. How much magnesium per day? This will depend on how much you need, Tazi. Some people need 500, average is 500, around 500, 550 milligrams. Some people don't need this because they have from food in great amounts, so they can get just 200 milligrams. Other people need to go to 700 milligrams. Depend on how damaged is your body. Someone said, yeah, Daniel said, yes, yes, yes. Cinda S. So then is the concept to the tested for food allergens to understand what level of impact. Cindy, this is only for allergy. And remember, Cindy, this is for allergic testing is when we talk about AIGE, instant allergy. When you do the allergic testing to see if you have allergy to gluten, and then instantly you see if you have allergy or not. But remember, there is the delayed allergy that we call type 4 hypersensitivity. The allergy that's because of AGG. Tiago, what does it mean? You eat a pizza today, you can have the allergy from the gluten that you got from pizza up to 3 days. Like after 72 hours, you can have the symptom. So by doing the testing, you will never find out. Did you get that? So that's the point, guys. You really need to be aware that only doing like a test, you can never trust only in a test. That's why many of you do a test and then you are still struggling with having like many symptoms. Okay? Yes, our gut is our second brain. Yeah, gut is everything, guys. You really need to give that importance. You are treating your gut, giving prebiotics and probiotics. Big illusion. Big illusion. Don't make the mistake of thinking only that's pre and probiotics. If you add and consume pre and probiotics at the wrong time, you can increase the problems. In my program, I teach and remind everyone that pro and prebiotics should be taken only in phase 2 in our program. Nobody can take pro and prebiotics in phase 1. Otherwise, they can increase the problems. Gut is not prepared to have more bacteria, probiotics, and more prebiotics, like food of the bacteria, in early stage when the gut is super inflamed. You can create more problems. This you should do in phase 2. I teach this in my program. I have a video training teaching exactly how to do this. All right? All good? Guys, any question? On YouTube as well. Janine said, I had saliva test and blood test. Both come out gluten allergy. Gluten allergy. That's the point. It's because of what? Remember, guys, one part of the population were born genetically with allergy from gluten. But most of you created the allergy. Tiago, what does it mean? It means that you can stop the allergy. Stop. You can redeem. You can solve the allergy. It's possible. It's possible. You just stop leaky gut, stop dysbiosis, optimize your digestive system, modulate more your hormones to avoid hormone imbalance because hormone imbalance increases inflammation. So you always need to be aware of that. Once you fix this, you don't have allergy to gluten anymore if it was not genetically. Be careful because you need to interpret this well. You can were born with genetic conditions of allergy to gluten, or you can create because of your lifestyle an allergy from gluten. And not only gluten, any food, almond, anything, fish, eggs, fruit, anything. That's the point. It can be any guys. That I'm gonna remind you again. The problem is never the food. The problem is never the gluten itself. The problem is how weak or how inflamed is your gut to handle that gluten. And how strong or weak is your immune system. Or how crazy is your immune system. Tiago, crazy? What does it mean? When the person has a celiac disease, the person is having celiac because the immune system is crazy when they see gluten, a molecule of gluten. The person eats gluten, the immune system thinks that's a threat. And then attack the whole organ, not the whole organ, but the whole tissue around. Like it damages the tissues. Like the immune cells they become crazy. It's like the wrong target. The person were born with that because of the receptors that she was born. I'm not talking about that case. I'm talking about you creating leaky gut, and then the leaky gut created the allergy. So you can stop that. It's possible. 100% possible. You redeem, and then after some time, you start having like a sourdough bread, small slice of bread, no problem. And then you have like a cracker at the right time with the right combination. Be always careful of what to do before eating that, before and after eating that pizza. I teach this in my program. For you to avoid mistakes. All right. It's all about that. For digestion, is it bad to have liquids with meals? Yeah. Guys, remember, when you have a lot of liquids with meals, you are going to slow down the digestion in your stomach. So because of these can create more issues. Because of what? It's all about digestion absorption. Tiago, but my digestion is amazing. I don't have any digestive symptoms. I don't have bloating. Never have bloating, Tiago. In my case, can I have like a juice together with my food? If that's your case, yeah, guys, no problem. Because your digestion will be slower, but you don't have any issue. You don't have bloat, you don't have anything. So don't stress with that. It's all about how much issues that you have. Someone asked, do you recommend digestive enzymes? Of course, of course. I explain, I have a video in my program, phase 1, specific type of digestive enzymes, including with another compound, especially betaine, for the person to optimize her stomach acid production. Crucial. Tell why? Because your stomach, your pancreas, your bile, they're not in optimal and they're not young, like 20 years old anymore. Your organs are the same, are inferior the same age that you are. If you are 40, your pancreas have 40 years old. If you are 50, your small intestine is 50 years old. The good news is what? Every single year, all organs in your body, they regenerate. The cells die to other new cells to regenerate. So your organs are literally every year regenerating. Your liver, everything. But they're never with full capacity compared when you used to be 20. So digestive enzymes for most of you 40 plus years old, it's gonna be super important. Depend on your situation, of course. All right. Cool, guys. All right. Let me see the last question. Hold on. I like when you guys interact. Interact. Okay. I'm just scrolling down to see questions here. Govea said, "Thank you, Thiago. Your program is truly remarkable." Govea is a client. Amazing, amazing, amazing to hear that. Amazing to hear that. Cool, guys. Have a great day. Tomorrow, let's see if tomorrow is Thursday for me. Tomorrow, I think I'm gonna do another live. We're gonna talk about maybe, yeah, I'm gonna see what we're gonna talk about. Maybe we can talk about dairy, or we can talk about postmenopause. We can talk about postmenopause or dairy, or we're gonna see. I wrote down. I have some topics that I can choose for tomorrow. All right. Brenda said, "We learned so much from you. Amazing. I love seeing this." Brenda is a client, by the way. Amazing. Cool. Guys, have a great day. Tomorrow, let's do another live. So stay with me. Remember, I always want to make sure that you guys are engaging here all the time. Because if you don't engage, I don't know what's going to be your issue. All right. I don't know what's going to be your issue. So both, yeah, someone said both of those are good. Yeah, these topics are good, right? Dairy. Can talk about dairy tomorrow. Dairy would be good because yeah, it's going to be the similar concept. You just need to understand some differences between dairy and wheat and gluten. Some difference. Cool. Yeah, dairy tomorrow. Okay, let's talk about dairy. Yeah. Dairy. We all love dairy. So you need to be aware of how to do this correctly and be careful depending on how your body will handle dairy. Cool. Tomorrow. Talk to you guys soon. Have a great day. And remember, hold on. I don't want to forget. Plant the seed in your brain because spiritual health is crucial. I'm always 100% feeding my spiritual health for my overall health to affect my physical body, my physical health, because we are spiritual beings. So plant the seed in your brain. So one verse in the Bible, Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Get that strength from the Creator to optimize your life. Mental health, spiritual health, emotional health. Many of you destroy your health because of your emotional health, emotional state, and physical health. Combine the dots, and to combine the dots, you really need to focus on the spiritual part. Stay close to the Creator, stay close to yourself. Have your me time every day. 10 minutes to yourself is crucial for you to find out who you are and why you are here on this planet. What's your purpose? Why you are doing what you are doing? Questions that are deep questions that you should think about daily. Don't live on autopilot. The worst thing that you can do is live on autopilot without asking deep questions, analyzing about yourself, about your life. Cool? Talk to you guys tomorrow. Let's talk about dairy. Have a great day, guys. See you soon, guys, on YouTube.